Hey everybody, welcome back to Dental Unfiltered. I'm Matt Brown. I'm here with a normal, awesome co-host, Dr. Andrew Vallo. And today's episode is about success tax and understanding, what it takes to overall be successful, and kind of Andrew's point of view on what success tax means. So Andrew, you open us up with it. This was your title. You picked this episode. What is success tax from your point of view?
Yeah. Hey guys, I think this will be an interesting topic here today, but it's one that I feel like is important and one that I feel like doesn't necessarily get talked about all that much in the dental podcast space. But what I have kind of realized and what I see as success tax is, you set out, you make these goals. Sometimes you set some lofty goals, you work hard, and then things start to fall into place. And, your office is growing. Maybe you add additional offices. Maybe you cut back clinically, kind of transition to more of the business owner, whatever it is. And so as you start to hit these goals, you're excited about it. But I think it also, can leave you sometimes a little bit of an empty feeling as well, because you're like, okay, well, I achieved my goals, but, why don't I still feel like, fully satisfied, or, I feel like there's more, or what am I doing this for, or whatever. And like the other side of the equation is, as you hit milestones, it used to be, okay, let me go back here. When I first opened my first startup, and we'd have like a milestone day. Hey, we had our first $10,000 collection day, or our first $100,000 collection month, or we broke $1 million for the year. I was excited, and I felt like I could share that with everyone. I could share that with, my family. I could share that with, just random friends. I could share that with dental friends, dental world. And everyone was like excited for it. I think everyone roots for you when you're the underdog, when you're a new startup business, everyone wants to see you win. But something kind of changes. Like as you grow, as your business grows, as you become more successful, I don't think people are necessarily rooting against you. I don't think people are trying to be mean about it. But I think the mindset kind of shifts a little bit. And I think it's harder to relate maybe with your success. And maybe people just also kind of feel like, okay, well, yeah, like look at this guy. He's done it again. Like another milestone, another successful month, another successful year, whatever it is. And I've realized over the last couple of years, like from certain people, that I felt like were in my circle, responses kind of got a little different. It was no longer the amped up, like, no, man, that's so amazing. I'm so impressed. We're so proud of you, whatever it is. It kind of transformed into the like, no response, or like, that's great, or like whatever. And you start to kind of sit back and it sinks in a little bit, and you're like, man, things feel different. And so like that was kind of the main thing I was thinking about with the success tax, and the things that aren't talked about often are one, the one side of it, like your own fulfillment. How do you feel as you start achieving different things, and are you fulfilled? And what else are you looking for? What other kind of impact do you want to have on the world besides hitting your goals? And two, how the world reacts to you, especially those, that are close to you. And so that was mainly what I want. This will be a fairly quick episode, guys, but I just wanted to kind of riff a little bit with Matt about this topic. And, for any of you guys out there, you high achievers that have felt some of this, I thought this could maybe be helpful for you too. So
It's lonely at the top, right? Like, so I'm thinking in my head as you say this, like me and you talk about this stuff. And I don't think either one of us, as we've talked about our successful metrics or things that have changed in our lives, have ever been negative towards each other. Like, I'm always really happy for you. You're always really happy for me. And I have some people in my world who have turned this into, someone outright said it to me, X people, like, I don't want to get into detail to offend anybody, but they're tired of you bragging. And I'm like, but, I worked so hard to get here. They don't understand what we went through to get here. I think it's okay to be proud of it. And I think those people who start feeling insecure about it, or they start saying those things, I think they start getting a thing of like they feel like left out, or that they feel like they're like it creates some kind of internal thing with them. And like I have in my world, I have you and the board, which almost everyone that me and you work with closely, I can talk to about this stuff. But then like in my personal life, I have like two other people that I can talk to about this stuff. And it's hard to like there's two sides to this. One is the success tax of like, hey man, I did $165,000, or I had $100,000 personal income month, whatever that number is, right? On the other side, it's like, hey man, I had $100,000 problem where I lost $100,000. You can't complain to those people about that. You can't say I lost 100 grand on a business transaction, or you bought a bad practice, or because then they're like, oh, boo hoo, you is kind of the attitude. I think in my head right now, I have I have six people in my world that I can talk to about this stuff. And the other thing that happens is it's not just the metrics you're proud of. It ends up being your lifestyle change also. I made two very large recreational purchases last year. One of them was my 10-year anniversary trip with my wife. That was 10 days on a yacht, just the two of us. And it was an achievement I've wanted. Actually, before I got cancer, we were trying to plan it and made it a goal. Then I got cancer and it put it off for a while. And then I finally got to do it. And I was excited, and we put it on Facebook and stuff. And I had haters over it. And it wasn't like, hey, man, I'm happy you finally got there. It was like, I had somebody tell me, quote, said this: you and your wife on a yacht together, just the two of you, that seems like a waste. It has 8 bedrooms. And I'm like, what? So there is a thing, guys, when you get successful, there's two sides of it. One, you just there's three sides. One, it's just going to get lonely. Just understand it. What is going to happen is I have two friends who are nowhere near me and Andrew's success level, and Andrew's way beyond me. And both of them are just normal, everyday people that work really hard, and they're great people. That they're probably the nicest people I know on the planet. They're always happy for everybody. They're not hater type people, and they're people that just love me for me, and I love them. And both of them I can talk to about this, and they're just happy for me, right? And they also know that if they started a business or something and they wanted to call me for advice, my phone would be on 24/7. It gets lonely aside from those people. And then the other side is you can't complain about your problems anymore to anybody because they don't care, because they see you as this, like, I don't understand what they see you as. And then you can't talk about your success metrics or the awesome things you buy. And then aside from talking about it, they see the lifestyle change. And it's not okay to buy the big boat or the big house, and it becomes this thing. And I had somebody in my life. I'm really proud of the boat I bought last year. It was a dream for me. I'm a scuba diver, and I love my boat. And I had somebody that was literally like, when they found out, they like shook their head and looked at the ground, and they were upset. And I was like, "What's wrong?" And they're like, "Well, I just, And they're just like, "Meh." And I'm like, "F off, man. Go do it yourself." And my opinion is anyone can do it. If I can do it, I'm special education my whole life. I could barely read and write. If you ever read an email or a message from me, like Andrew's like, "What did you just say?" I'm dyslexic, dysgraphic. I had to deal with cancer through all this. Like, what's your excuse? Go do it, bro.
Well, and that's the hard part, man, too, is I feel like people don't see the hardships you go through. They only see the success, and they're, jealous of it, or they think that you're, just achieving too much, or your goals are set, or you're greedy, or whatever.
Oh yeah, I got labeled greedy a bunch of times.
But like, dude, despite the success that we go through, dude, think about everything you've gone through the last 5 years, to get where you're at right now. And like, even on a micro spectrum, like this week, hey, I was so excited coming into the new year. We're recording January 7th. It's, right past that date where Seinfeld says you can't say Happy New Year anymore. But Happy New Year, guys. It is a New Year, so probably air, February, I don't know, something like that. But early January, I'm like pumped. We had a amazing finish to 2025. I talked about it briefly on the episode 165K Day. If that's not out yet, wait for that. But amazing December, amazing year. Our organization hit basically all the goals we had set out. I was really proud of my team. I was really excited for what was to come. I had spent time over the holidays setting all these goals, sending out emails to our executive team with specific incentives and goals and all this stuff for the new year. I was like, let's go, let's rock and roll. And then, the curtain drops and it's just like, oh yeah, this doc hurt his hand in a scuba diving or a snorkeling accident over the weekend and came in to try to start his implant surgery and couldn't do it. So what are we going to do there? Oh, okay, that's great. Oh, this doc, no calls, no shows for a day, which I've never had that happen before. In 10 practices, we've currently got 14 associate docs. I think over the years we have really low turnover. I think we've had 17 total. I've never had a doctor no call, no show for a day, let alone a day where he had like 3 surgeries booked. So that was, and I'll tell you what, guys, and I'm not going to get into it a whole lot, but I'm sure everyone's heard about the incident in Ohio, where that doc and his wife were murdered. And I went to school. He was a year behind me. So that's been weighing on me these last, week or so here. But when this doc no called, no showed, and no one could get a hold of him for hours, our heads did go there a little bit. We're like, man, at first we were like furious because we're like, how do you just not show up for a day of surgeries? And we're like, oh my God, like what if something really happened to him? So we were like literally on the verge of filing a police report when finally he responded and said, I'm okay, I'll be there tomorrow. And that was it. So obviously like conversations are going to have to be had about what occurred and why he didn't show up for work and all that good stuff. I'm glad he's okay. But that was the day after we found out another one of our docs hurt his hand and couldn't do it. And then one of our top treatment coordinators was in a car wreck and is in the hospital having surgery done. So you talk about a hectic start to the new year. I feel like those events just took the wind right out of my sails. Now, are we going to rebound? Yeah. Are we still going to have a solid first week? Yeah, I'm sure we will. I don't even know where the numbers are at right now, but I'm sure we will. I mean, that's the nice thing about growing a group and is diversifying. And, you can take a few more of those lumps and still recover. And actually, just because of the size of our group, that doc who hurt his hand, we were able to bring in a doc who helped us out, implant doc who just kind of helped us out for a few days while he recovered there. All things said and done, like I'm extremely grateful for the group we have built and all the success we've had, but like it doesn't come without its challenges. So just, keep that in mind, guys. You see the Instagram posts from people, you see the lifestyle, you see my posts where I'm very transparent about numbers and stuff, but I still have my struggles now, not every week is as hard as this week has been. But I still have my struggles every single week too. So
I will attest, me and Andrew have been front row for each other's journeys to wherever we're at right now. I don't know. I think everyone's definition of success is different. We had a doc in Utah, early and energized. His definition of success was doing 165 a month and going to 3 days a week. Wanted to be with his family. He's a family man. Really great guy. And he got there. And we high-fived each other and he's awesome. I want to make sure, guys, I think the dental industry puts a pressure on you guys of what is success, and you guys don't define your own successes. And I think that actually becomes a success tax also. And I think there's, for a lack of better word, success porn in the dental industry of like, you do 20 arches a month, you work 2 days a week. There's all this crap. And I will tell you from somebody who looks at, I think it's 365 practices worth of dental intel data. And then I talk to dental intel a lot, and they got 11,000 practices worth of data. And I see average patient values for the nation. I see a lot. When you see these things, understand it's extreme outliers that they're quoting off of. It's not the average. And don't allow those things to put you in a place that if I'm not achieving this, then I'm just not, it devalues you. Define your own successes. And it's, for me and Andrew, it's how the size of his practice and what collections he does. Andrew's very competitive and business driven. You know, you may be clinical modality of treatment driven. You may want to do a certain quantity of certain modalities of treatment. And the success for that might be you tired and your hands hurting and you having to put too much time into the chair and being away from your family. But, you know, with the successful part Andrew's talking about, just understand if you're climbing right now and you're like have a 2 practice group and you're trying to get the 10. I think I talked earlier. I have 2 young docs down in Texas. They're great guys. They hit a big month, their 3rd month. We were talking yesterday. Really good dudes. One one's Persian, one Indian. They're very talented guys. And they're looking at Andrew and saying, well, we didn't get there. And I showed them data. And I was like, guys, you were double outpacing the average startup in the United States. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize that. Like, there is also a success tax for pushing yourself to a level that, you know, are focusing on a level that maybe isn't real, that you're being influenced about, and you actually are being successful, but you can't recognize it because of that thing being told to you. And I think that's another level of success tax, is not realizing you're successful and pushing yourself there and kind of hurting yourself mentally.
No, I think those are all good points. Like I said, guys, we're going to keep this one short. I do want to talk about one last thing, which, because I hate just venting about problems or just telling you guys about issues. I like to talk about solutions as well. So what can you do to combat the success tax? No matter where you're at on your, you know, career journey, I'm sure you're feeling some level of that strain. Being a dentist, you know, especially as if you're a dentalpreneur. So here's my best tip is you need to level up, you know, your circles, and that doesn't necessarily mean you need to cut out people in your life. Like if people are toxic, then that's one thing, but you can have great close relationships with people who just maybe don't understand your success or what you're going through. And maybe those aren't the people you can talk to about some of these things. And that doesn't mean you have to stop being friends with them, but that it does mean that you do need to find a group, at least a small group. I would recommend. I would recommend more than just 1 or 2 people, but find a small group of business owners, dentists, you know, whatever, that do understand what you're going through, that you can talk about these things with. And I did that. You know, I shout out to my SEAL Team 6, as we call ourselves, in our Dr. Costas's DSI group. We're actually getting ready to go on a ski trip here soon out in Colorado, and we're going to stop in Austin and play some golf and do some drift racing, which is going to be fun. But like it's a group of guys I found that are ambitious, that are, you know, having successful practices, multiple practices, that are always looking for the next thing, and where we feel comfortable celebrating our wins and talking about our hardships with each other. So I'm looking forward to the trip for the skiing and the golf and the drifting, but I'm also looking forward to some deep conversations just about business and life and goals and, you know, next steps and, you know, what we're going through. And I think you need that. I wholeheartedly believe that you need something like that. So whether it is just finding these docs, you know, through Facebook, I know that's how Peter Bolden and Craig Spodak, you know, really became friends through Facebook. You know, I think Peter had sent Craig a message, if I remember correctly. But, you know, find the docs that are doing the things that you're doing, or even maybe doing more than what you're doing. And try to start building some relationships where you've got a group where you can, you know, give someone a call or send out a quick text when you're either celebrating a win or, you know, trying to get through a tough situation. Because it's your close circle, you know, your old friends, your family, if they don't understand it now, that like things aren't probably going to change. You know, they're probably not going to to Matt's point, probably if you continue on your success path, it probably will get worse. So that if you take one thing from this whole episode, that would be my advice. If you don't already have it, try to seek out people that will understand your success and that you can truly be open and comfortable talking about things with. So that's it for me today.
Yeah, I'm going to add 2 things. I want to meet this Dental SEAL Team 6, first of all. This goes along with how I feel about your fake Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu looking black belt that you get from Mark. I love Mark, but you know how I gave you a hard time about it? I want to meet the SEAL Team 6 dental guys. Anyway, I love giving you a hard time about that black belt. If you ever put it around your waist, I'm choking you with it. Anyway, so I think that going back to Andrew's thing, I think it sounds elitist to people when you say something like, you have to raise the people you spend time with. I have two buddies. Andrew met both of them actually. They're legit multi-hundred millionaire to billionaire guys. And one of them's a really close mentor of mine. I try to spend every couple months a few days at his house with him. He's kind of been like a big brother to me. And I can have the most candid, truthful conversations with my struggles of where I'm at with success and also kind of some of the enjoyment of it. I think the problem with the view of it, we're going to end right here, is the people who are watching you that see the lifestyle changes and see everything, they literally label it as your life is easier. What they don't know is your life's actually significantly harder. I'll be honest with everyone listening. I have nights, I get done work at 7 o'clock at night. I've been at my desk at 7 a.m. I'm under tremendous pressure. Every bit of revenue comes from the revenue team at Energize, and I'm in charge of it. And I have to fill calendars for salespeople every single week and have these relationships to do it. And that's a lot of pressure. And then there's 80 employees on the other side. And between me and Ryan, we got to, when you hire employees, you're saying, I'm going to pay your mortgage. People are like, oh, I'm stressed out by my mortgage. I have 80 people whose mortgages I care about. Just understand that's how they're seeing you. They're seeing the lifestyle change. They're saying, oh, his life is so great. They're not seeing the extreme is the word, extreme amount of pressure it takes to get there. And the extreme lengths it takes to, not to sit on my soapbox and pound my chest, but Andrew knows about this. The first month or so after my leg being amputated, I was doing sales calls with a morphine pump out of screen because I had to, right? There's no family leave act for me. This just doesn't exist for me. I had employees at that point. I had to go. So, guys, the success tax, I think, I was talking yesterday to an industry leader that me and you both know, and he's paying like $4 million this year in taxes. And he said, I'm happy paying $4 million a year in taxes because that means I made a ton. I think with me, my attitude on the success tax now after the haters I've had and stuff is I don't care. I just don't let it get to me anymore. I don't care. If that's the way you are, I have whittled my life down. And that sounds horrible, but if somebody's like that in your life, it will become toxic and it never gets better. That personality's outlook, just understand that person's outlook one day is not going to turn around and start high-fiving you. It will never happen. So your two options are stop spending time with them or stop talking about what's made you happy and how you've achieved. And what I will tell you is if you're in our position and you're doing that, that second one is harder because you're really proud of what you did and that's a big emotion. And I don't think you're wrong to be proud of it. And honestly, I'm a little more brash than Andrew is. I don't give a crap. If you don't like it, have a nice day. Don't hang out with me. If you consider it bragging because I achieved, big deal. Leave. And I'm all about going up to the next level. And I'm a little bit different than Andrew is. But if you don't like being around me and it bothers you, then don't do things with me when I invite you. And honestly, between me and Andrew, if you get invited out with Matt Brown to do something, 90% chance you're not paying. Because I want to hang out with my friends and give them a cool experience they maybe can't afford, and I'll pay. Because I want to be with my friends doing a cool experience. And if you get upset, then you don't have to experience that and don't have to get the benefits of being my friend because I care about you. So get out. Have a nice day. Don't bother me. I won't bother you. Stop picking the phone up.
That's good, Matt. That was deep. I think that might win rant of the year from the podcast awards next year. So that was good. Guys, I hope you found this episode helpful. I mean, again, I'm sure everyone has felt this in some way or another. And just know that you're not alone. It is a normal phenomenon that happens in life. And there are ways to, kind of get through it and to make things better. So as always, thanks for listening. If you're enjoying the content, guys, we love seeing those reviews come in. Please leave us a review. Please share this podcast with friends and family. It's grown like wildfire the last couple of years, thanks to a lot of you guys. But if you haven't referred anyone to the podcast, take a minute, think about who might enjoy it in your life, what friends from dental school or colleagues or whatever, and send them a link to, tell them to check it out. And as always, if you have a question for us, if you have a suggestion for an episode, you can always reach out to me. Again, give me grace. I am notoriously slow at responding just because I always fall behind on emails with everything going on. But it's docvallodds@gmail.com. Matt, if they want to reach you.
It's Matt at energize-group.com.
Thanks, guys. I hope you have a great day and look forward to talking to you guys next time.
Yeah, please like, subscribe, follow, share. Once again, below the podcast description is a link to Dental Unfiltered Study Club. We announce webinars from a lot of our guests and stuff. I actually would love to schedule a webinar for Dr. Vallo at some point. I just realized we haven't done that. Thank you guys so much for being with us. Have a wonderful day.